I left the Science Museum in '79 and started in 23rd of July 1979 in the London Transport Museum. When I arrived, the museum, the Covent Garden site wasn't actually handed to us. It was being worked on by London Transport. The London Transport Architects Department and their project management services were building or doing the conversion for the site. But we did have access to the museum to install the big vehicles that had to go in at early stages. We were basically stripping out Covent Park. So we were going down, packing up models and any of the artefacts that were still there. Bob was still taking vehicles out, so occasionally we would assist with that. We were also, at that time, doing photography of whatever vehicles we could put in situ. We also dressed up as Edwardian people, Victorian people, for the horse buses to go out. For the rail vehicles, we had to construct what's now the train table, which is up at first floor level, was actually originally built at ground floor level and had more trains on it. It was slightly larger and had more trains on it. So that had been installed in late 1978 in the museum as part of the conversion work. It was a very packed museum. The aim of the museum was to try and squeeze in as much of the collection as possible. But narratively it was very old-fashioned in the sense that you had a huge collection of objects in the middle and the story was written linearly around the wall. And around the edges it had a lot of small objects and models. We'd acquired a lot of models from the Covent Park displays, which they had acquired from the centenary displays that were created by the London General Omnibus Company to celebrate the 100 years of the first bus. The collection was basically everything that we'd had since the handover in '63, so it was about 1,000 objects. It didn't have the photo library, it didn't have the poster collection, but it did have the artwork collection. The vehicles, we had most of the vehicles we have today already by that point. So on display there were a reasonable number of vehicles. We had the padded cell, but we didn't have the loco. The loco was sitting in the Science Museum. The key difference was that the Covent Park collection was just a collection. It was your classic transport museum with serried rows of vehicles head to toe, all the way through it. People loved it, but it was not a great museum as such. It was, and it never purported to be, it was always called the London Transport Collection, because that's what it was. It was only when we moved to the museum, moved to Covent Garden, that the aim was to turn it into a proper museum. A museum that actually actively cared for its collections, that promoted the public transport as a theme to schools, actively encouraged schools to come. So it was very much there was a proper mindset changed, and that was because a lot of professional museum people were brought in to do that. The rationale really was to take this collection that was seen by very, very few people in West London, put it in what was a much, much bigger site. It's 3 times the size of Covent Park, and be part of a place-making. So we actually, the museum is tied totally to Covent Garden as a place. Because we opened in March and The rest of the piazza didn't open until July. So we were open, the Jubilee Market was open, but nothing in the middle was open. We were actually seen as a place builder. We had a ridiculous number of people on the opening day, up to the levels we were having now, 300,000 or so. It was the first year. It was massive.